Welcome to the Geek Swarm YouTube channel. I'm Michael.
I'm Fee.
And on today's video, we are going to be reviewing Cities Skylines, the board game, based off the video game.
By Kosmos?
Kosmos and Themes.
And Things.
Yeah. Players 1 to 4, ages 10 and up, plays in about 40 to 70 minutes. This is a cooperative board game where you're all trying to work together to build your own city. And you're wanting to build the city the best that you can.
Yeah, so we're going to explain a little bit how the game mechanic works for you before we get into our review of what it looks like, or what we thought of the game after playing it.
Right. Now, your city will start out with
Flip there, yeah.
something like this, a little tile. There's many different tiles in the game. This is marked A, and there's B, C, D, E, and F. So here's how your tile starts out. And then you have to pay however much money's on the board
With these.
with the little money symbols to flip it over, and then you can start building on this tile. And you can decide how many tiles you want in your game. The startup, the setup, where it's going to teach you how to play it, only has 3 of these tiles. So then you can kind of go from there. But then you could have 4, 5, 6, however really many you want, and whichever ones you want. So how do you put stuff on the city board? With cards and resources. Now, let's see. Here is basically your resource tracker. This keeps track of how everything is. So you keep track of how much energy you can use in your city, how much water,
Trip, trip.
how much garbage there's going to be. This is your happiness level. Here's your people. So you want to populate your city, and you want to also put them to work. And then when everything starts coming in your city, that's going to build up waste, traffic, and crime. And here's where you keep your money. So the whole game, you're trying to play cards, build certain things in your city.
While managing your resources.
And at the same time, yeah, trying to manage and keep your resources where it needs to be to make sure, because you don't want to build too fast, and then where you're using so much energy, but you don't have a whole lot to build, so you need to build some more energy plants. So you have to keep track of that. Also, you want your people, you want to bring people into your city, but you also want to give them jobs and something to do. And then you want to build different routes to get to that without getting too much traffic. So you want to build bus stops, etc. So there's a lot of give and take to when you're going to build your city. And here's your little city right here with your little score track. So it moves up and down depending on when you end a milestone, which we'll explain later, and basically score your happiness level. So in the game, you each have cards. Each player has cards that kind of look like this. And on
There's different colors.
Yeah, there's blue, there's green, there's yellow. On the card, it'll tell you what you're basically going to be building, and the top line will explain what it's going to cost. Certain cards will cost so much to build everything. Some will cost money, some will cost other resources. Like for example, this card is the commercial zone. If you build this, you're going to lose 1 on your track, because it's going to cost that, and crime is going to go up in this area. So that moves up too. Now there's also bonuses at the bottom of the card. So for example, if you build this next to a park and the tiles are touching, you will get 3 money that you can use in your city for other projects.
Yeah. And you have to have the park up before you start building that zone. And each zone, if you looked at, they're also color coded.
So you know exactly what you're building.
Yeah, so they're matched these go tiles.
So when you pay your resources for your card and you decide what you're going to want to build, now comes the fun part, where you have different little tiles that look like different shapes. You have green, your yellow, your blue, depending on what card you want to play and build. Now you get to decide where you want to put the tile. And there are many different tiles of the different colors that come in the box. So you can choose any tile you want and place it on the board. So if you want to go for a big one or a small one, that's going to be up to you.
Yeah, so it reminds me of like a big, gigantic jigsaw puzzle where you're trying to
Yeah.
assemble like a jigsaw right into the pieces, and then you have all these little pieces that you have to get next to each other. So it feels to me like a giant jigsaw puzzle where you're trying to make it work together, so you get the bonus, something like that. And everything will produce something or cost something. So everything you do is by the cards. So whatever cards you have in hand, you can use to build. But you have to also manage your resource.
Yep.
Because if it goes like to the red here, if you go beyond the red, you can't build it. That means you don't have enough.
Yeah, so you need to pull that back down. So a basic turn of this game consists of playing a card, so you can build anything you want. And then after you play, you can draw from any of the stacks of your choice, and I'll explain that shortly. Or you can exchange a card. If there's nothing that's going to benefit you in your hand, you can pay 2 of the money tiles, discard a card, and draw from anywhere else you want. And when you put that out, there's these different piles, plus there is an exchange pile. So you can get rid of it now and then pick it up later if you want to.
Yes.
Or you could end a milestone. And a milestone, there must be at least one zone or building in every little area. So there has to be at least one of these in every area before you end the milestone.
Yeah, and they're called districts. I don't know if you explained that.
Yeah.
So the districts, it depends on where the roads are. So basically, the roads separates the districts, and the edges separates the district. So this is a district, this is one, and this is one. So we have 3 districts. We have to build into them before we even in the milestone.
And when you end the milestone, that's when you score everything on that, and it explains kind of how to score it. After you decide if you have enough resources, you get your happiness, you go through, you bank your happiness in your little city track, you pay the money, and you flip over the next tile over. So whatever the cost for that next tile is, you get that and flip it, which may grow the districts.
Yep.
Or it may add more of them. So you're like, okay, I have a small district right now, and then when you flip that next tile, your district just got bigger.
Yeah. One other key thing that he also mentioned, we have these little things called like
The utilities.
Utilities. You only can have one utility in each district.
Yes, you can't have
More than
a plant that builds energy or a water plant in the same area. You have to spread them out. There are rules to where and how you can build certain things, but it explains it in the instructions pretty easily. And that first little set, that first game that it tells you and kind of walks you through, teaches the game pretty well.
Yeah.
It looks very intimidating because there's a lot of cards, a lot of pieces, but once you get to where you understand the different symbols on the cards and what everything means, the game will start to flow pretty well for you.
Yeah, I think it took us like to the 2nd or 3rd milestone to basically almost to the end. We figured, oh, we should have done this.
Yeah, like,
And so something killed us that during the middle where we were playing it and said, oh man, Mike, why'd you do that? I told you not to put that piece there.
that wasn't my fault.
That was you, bro. That's all you.
That wasn't my fault. So the game is just like that. You're going to play a card, put your resource on the tile,
Put a jigsaw puzzle.
and basically keep going. Like I said, this is a cooperative game, so you are all working together to build the city. Now, there are 3 different stacks of the card that starts out, and each one of them will have like the 1 stack, 2, and 3. The first stack is going to be your cheapest and easiest to build, but it's not going to give you as much rewards for building it. The second stack is going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's going to give you a little bit more rewards, more money on the output. Stack number 3 is going to cost you the most to build, but it's also going to give you the biggest reward.
Yeah, so after that, after you play the basic ones, then you get the idea of how to play it. And then once you do that, then they go into other things, because tutorial actually leaves off a couple things.
Yeah, in the base tutorial, you're just playing with the basic cards. But then you can add different cards to the game and different other parts of the game. So you can add these one at a time, so that way you get kind of used to how they work in the game. So like one of them is roles, where everybody can be something like a lawyer, or what's another one? A speech writer, and they give you an ability. So it'll tell you, like, for example, if you build this or your happiness is at this level, you can get this much money.
Yeah. Then we also have city news.
Yep.
Which are almost like an event that
will trigger.
Yep. They'll cause look like a bunch of negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they don't look all that good.
Yeah.
Then you have special buildings, which are called unique buildings.
Like what was it? Stadiums. There was
yeah, sports arena.
Yeah, and it's going to be where you can only build one in a certain area, and it's going to give you an extra benefit.
Yeah, it gives better bonuses, and then of course policies.
Yep.
So anything that the government enacts, it will do stuff. So
Yeah.
you can add more complexity to the game.
So you can just play without those if you want to start and learn, and then you go, okay, on our next game, once we got familiar with that, let's add roles, let's add different abilities. Then you could play it, and then you could add events. So you don't have to add them all at once. And I would say not to your first game. Play through just how it has it set up in the instruction book the very first time with only 3 tiles until you kind of get the hang of how the game plays. Then after that, you can
This
do
one
whatever
has,
you want.
This one has quite a bit of rules that you have to figure out, and then all the little symbols. Because sometimes we're looking at these cards and say, what does this mean?
Yeah, what did the tree stand for? Oh, the park.
I said, okay. And then, then the district symbol, and then, so once you get used to what all the symbols are, it should get a little easier, but it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to actually pick up the game initially.
Yeah. Now, it tells you what all the symbols mean in here. And then after you flip over everything and you end the final milestone, which is going to be different than how you ended the other milestones, you count up how well your city was happiness. And on the back of the instruction booklet, it has a little chart. So you look at that score and then you compare. And it'll tell you how well you did with your city.
Yeah. And so the last milestone is going to be picking how many boards you have. So if you have 3 of these, then after the 3rd milestone, then you end the game.
Well, you have to end it like after each little area has 2 of the different buildings.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Because if you have, you can play up to 3 times if you have 3 of these regular boards.
All right.
But if you have 2, then just only 2 milestones.
All right, so let's get into our thoughts on the game. Fee, what did you think?
I thought it was an interesting game. It's like a resource management type game. There's not a lot of worker placement. It's pretty much like resource management and cooperative playing with a jigsaw puzzle. So it wasn't bad. I don't hate it. I just probably want to play some more to see how well. Okay, I thought we were doing well at the beginning, but it seems that it matters. Like if you, it's very hard to figure out where to put these because you don't know where you're going to need it later.
Yeah, because we blocked it and covered everything after we drew other cards that would help us.
Yeah.
And we were running out of money very fast.
Yeah, we had like tons of money at the beginning, but then towards the end, it's like, what happened? Why can't we?
Because we like to build stuff.
But I think it's a pretty fun game. I would like to try to play it again, just to get used to it and just add more stuff, elements to it. I think it'll be good replay value because there's a lot of different cards you can add to it. Then the randomness of these cards, that might help or hurt you. So shuffle well. So I don't know how well I would give it. Mike, you give your review now. I'll come back.
Because I was like, okay, we'll talk about what we like and then what we didn't like about the game. I did like that it is cooperative so that everybody could play. We all had all of our cards out and we were kind of checking and comparing. And it is like a big puzzle game because you're looking at like, okay, we can build this one right now, which would help us. But if we build this first and then you build this, we get this extra bonus. So there is a lot that's kind of going on as far as what to build and when to build and what cards to draw. So I did like that. I also like the puzzle trying to place everything on the board. And I haven't really played as far as, you know, in board games that where you can build your own city. So I did like the theme and everything, and the cards and the colors, everything, it seemed, you know, pretty good. I did like the way it kind of played and stuff like that. I did like that part of the game. What I really didn't like so much is the randomness of the cards, because you're drawing cards and you're going through the deck. And if you don't get cards that you need when, or if it's stuck at the bottom, that's going to really hurt you. So you're basically going off of what you have access to. So if you need more power, but the power card is stuck at the bottom, you're going to be out of power. You're not going to be able to do so many cards that requires more power until you get a power plant. So you're going to have to find it through the cards. And if it's at the bottom, that's going to hurt you. The game could be done, but really before you get going.
Yeah. Oh, but that's what the randomness, I think, in my opinion, makes it more exciting. Because if you know what you're going to get over time.
Well, you're not going to know what you're going to get, but...
Yeah, I said, there's enough in there to help you out at the beginning. So.
And the time on it, it took a little bit longer than an hour and something to play. Now, yes, our first game went kind of long because we were learning and stuff like that. But then, yeah, it still plays a little bit longer than what it said to me.
Because there's a lot of strategy involved. Even when we played with two of us, it took a while because we had to figure out how do we coordinate this well together.
And that's what really kind of took along, is you're trying to work everything out, every card, and you're trying to build it together. And it's like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. So, yeah, that does extend the time, especially for a group or players who can't decide on what they want to do.
Yeah, so it took us more than 70 minutes for two of us. So, so you played up to 4. Wow.
All right, what are your final thoughts, Fee?
I actually like the game. I like the aspect of actually trying to jigsaw everything together. Because that's pretty interesting than managing resources at the same time. So I would play it again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that Thames and Kosmos sent us a copy so we could do the review. So thank you for that. I think it'll get to the table again. I think we had more people kind of watching also build and kind of wanted to check it out while we were kind of playing it. So I know they're going to want to check it out. So I think it's going to be a game that we can get to the table. Maybe not a lot, but I think we'll get to the table when we get a chance.
Yeah, just because of 4 players. 4 players is an amount that's easy to get, but then sometimes you might want more because we usually have groups that are bigger that wants to play more than just 4 people. So that might be the only hindrance I can see.
Yeah. Now,
I don't think it scales that well.
That. And then after you play it like so many times, I could see kind of taking a break from it. But I think we'll play it a few. I think I'm trying
to think if
how I want to say it, but
yeah. But like I said, it's not a, I want to say a top game. It's somewhere in the middle that we'll always bring to the table. There's some games that we always like to bring to the table because everybody always enjoys it.
Yeah.
This will be somewhere in the middle. It won't be like one of those games that will show forever.
Yeah, if we have time to play it and somebody gets the itch, then we'll bring it out to the table. I just don't think it's going to be hitting our table regularly.
Yeah. So no, it's not. I'll say it's not a must-have, but it's a very interesting game because you're talking about something that's cooperative and that you actually do something different.
Yeah,
than your normal resource
if you're
management.
interested in building cities and stuff like the sim builder and different stuff like that, then definitely check this game out because there's a lot that comes back from the video game into the board game. So, and plus, if you're a fan of Cities Skylines, yeah, check out the board game. I think you'll like it.
Okay, so I think that's our review.
All right. I'm Michael.
I'm Fee.
And thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button and bell so you don't miss anything. And thank you. Okay. I'm a little all over the place.
Yeah.
But, all right, you want to hit that button? Yes.